Hello my friends, thank you so much for joining me. Little update since the last video. I did that very gentle makeup routine and I do feel like my skin is improving. Any little areas that felt like raised bumps kind of feel flat, and like certain areas feel a bit more scabby, if that makes sense. My skin does not feel inflamed, but I'm still sticking with a super gentle routine, very similar, I mean pretty much the exact same stuff that I was wearing in that last video. But thinking ahead to what I was going to shoot today, this is Friday, I thought, well, how about a Q&A? You know, that way I don't have to put on some full face of something. And I've also developed a cold that's really been going hard these last couple days. Yes, I did try taking some Benadryl thinking maybe this is all one big allergic reaction. Benadryl didn't do a darn thing for me. So I'm thinking I have a cold, and I think my skin is having an overall kind of eczema flared up reaction to the extreme cold weather. So that's your backstory for why I'm not like doing a big get ready with me during this Q&A. I'm just gonna answer the questions, okay? I'll probably be able to stay much more focused in this video. But I just asked on Instagram if you had any questions. I think Q&As are fun because it causes me to cover topics that you all want to know about, but that I just haven't maybe thought to talk about. So first question here comes from Maddie. She says, what is your favorite way to relax? What recharges you? I feel like an evening with nothing to do is very recharging to the soul, especially if you've had a busy week, you've had practices, you had to do this, that, and the other, and then you have a night where like the kids have gone to bed and you can just hang out, watch a show, eat a snack, whatever. I think that's very recharging, just having that gap of time before you have to go to bed where you could just have some you time and do whatever you want to do, you know, take a shower, do a longer skincare routine, whatever it is. Also, what recharges me, I think, are jigsaw puzzles. I find those very relaxing. Some people would look at that and be like, that just stresses me out, but like I think puzzles are relaxing. I have a whole actual puzzle table, a portable puzzle table where you can like fold up on your progress and it won't go anywhere. Then you can pop it back out whenever you want. I still have a Christmassy puzzle that we're working on. But I like puzzles, board games, especially if you've been feeling kind of preoccupied in your mind with certain things. I think doing a puzzle or playing a board game with somebody, stuff like that I think is kind of a good reset. And I'm just kind of pulling randomly here from the questions, but there were so many questions asking about my dad, and I thought, that's amazing. Like, there are so many people concerned about my dad, so I'll talk about that. A lot of questions about productivity too. Like, those were probably the top two topics. So thank you to everyone who's been thinking about Dad. As you may know, if you've kept up with recent videos, he has been going through chemo. We had found out, I guess it was late summer, early fall, that his lymphoma had returned. And I guess fortunately, if you want to look at a bright side of a bad situation, it was not any more severe than the first kind he had. And they set him up to go through 6 rounds of chemotherapy, and just, was it early last week, he went through his 5th round. So he has 1 more left, and I miss my dad and I miss my mom because I really haven't seen them much, because there's always a concern of colds and stuff going around here in this house with all these kids. Currently right now, you know, I have a cold and we don't want to be the source of any sickness. You know, it's hard enough to just go through chemo on your body. We're trying to keep everybody safe, but I miss I just miss them, you know. There was a PET scan done, which really takes a very detailed look at the body. It was done after the 2nd round of chemo was completed, and it showed that there were no signs of cancer at that time. But I'm guessing because this was a recurring, you know, the cancer had come back, they really wanted to make sure it was eradicated, and they said, you're going to continue to go and complete these 6 rounds. If you want to talk about real inspiration in life, I've got to stop getting all weepy, but that would be Dad, you know, to go through this, to be so brave, to keep such a good attitude, to not change, like to not lose any of his goodness or anything over the trials that he's had to deal with, I think is just incredible. I couldn't think of a better example to follow. And my mom as well, you know, we'll talk and I know she's, just to hear her voice on the phone, like I can tell immediately from the first words out of her mouth how she's feeling. I can tell completely by her tone if she's worried, if she's okay. And so much of the time she's been so good. And I feel like my family, I mean, we really are ourselves. Like, I don't feel like Mom puts on some kind of show for me. I don't put on a show for her. You know, if something's going on, we know, I think, between each other. And I'm just really proud of her, and I'm proud of my dad. I love them so much, and I'm super duper thankful for everybody who's been thinking about him, caring, praying. You guys are incredible. Your empathy, your support, just thank you very much. This is a down and dirty Q&A, isn't it? It's not about like putting on pretty products. It's about wearing down your makeup with rubbing your nose and crying. But thank you for asking about Dad. Next question talks about managing your time and what motivates your productivity the most. And I don't feel like I'm constantly that productive. Like, I got a lot of questions about this. I'm not some kind of superwoman here. I'm just consistent with a lot of the things I do. I consistently wake up early, so between 4:30 and 4:45 every day. And that is the type of thing that sounds daunting if you've never tried it, but if you get in a routine and rhythm of it, it loses its challenge. You know what I mean? It becomes just part of the daily routine to wake up early. And when I do that, I have time to sit here and shoot videos while everyone else is asleep. If it's not a video shooting day, it's a makeup trying day. You know, I love this quiet time that I can have. And then I also, every single day, I have my devotional Bible time, prayer, meditative time as well. You have to set aside that slice of the pie for you on purpose, you know, because especially with 3 kids, you're not just gonna randomly like, oh, okay, we'll see if any time opens up for me to look at my Bible sometime today. Like, it's not going to happen probably. You have to decide on purpose, and what better way to start your day on a good note than to give yourself that time at the beginning of the day for whatever it is. Maybe it's a workout, maybe it's makeup, maybe it's a devotional, maybe it's journaling. I do think you have to be very on purpose about that time because so many other things can pull for you, you know, throughout the course of a day. So I guess my answer to that question is just consistency. And randomly last week I was thinking about how important prioritizing is. I feel like I am constantly prioritizing, you know, like my house might not look perfect. I'll have stacks of stuff in different places, you know, not everything might be the 100% ideal, but I'm getting stuff done and I'm a pretty good prioritizer. And my prioritization mind is not always thinking about concrete. Do this, do that, do this, do that. But sometimes, like, it just occurs to me, Bubba really needs your one-on-one attention right now. I can just feel that that's the place I need to put my time right now, is getting down on the floor, putting everything else aside and playing with him. And then the next thing might be like, you know, I'm going to go for a really easy dinner that I can make for them tonight, because if I make it something quick, I can go ahead and get these 5 boxes put away. My mind is constantly sorting and stacking the day. And I think part of that comes from being a stay-at-home person and just kind of seeing the needs and where they line up and just constant decisions like, you know, yeah, I'd like to spend some time cleaning that room, but what I really have to do first are wash these sheets. Does anybody else know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a good prioritizer, I do think ultimately you get the important stuff done and you allow yourself enough time to finish the rest at the end. So consistency and being able to prioritize. I hope that answers some questions about that stuff, because there were just a lot of things about that. And I think it's just kind of where people's mind is at the beginning of a year. Favorite meals right now for the whole family. Can I be honest with you? We don't all eat the same thing all the time. I would love to think that I get out there in the kitchen one time, make one thing, and everybody takes it down. But the kids eat before Bub does. Bub eats keto. I pretty much eat at the same time the kids do, which is fairly early. There are a couple of nights during the week where we have to eat early because of cheer or dance. So we generally keep an early bird dinner schedule between like 4:30 and 5 or so. Sometimes even earlier. It needs to be a mini dinner, I call it. But I would say tacos seem to be an across-the-board crowd pleaser. And one time I did some baked tacos. Like, you build them in the hard shells and you just bake them all at once, and they turned out so good. And then Bub can like use the taco meat in a low-carb wrap or something like that. Another incredibly easy thing is take a bag of frozen meatballs and a jar of pasta sauce and just put that in your crock pot. You could doctor it up with some fresh mushrooms that you've sauteed and some onion and pepper if you want. I did that on Sunday, and Bub, he's been having like meatball wraps or just eating them as is. I feel like everybody in the house can kind of get behind the marinara flavor of things. Also, this is kind of weird because I feel like I've never on purpose been like world's healthiest, bestest eater, but all my kids seem to like vegetables and salads. Like, if you put out a veggie tray, they're on it. If you give them a salad, like Bubba will ask for a salad, especially if he sees me eating one and maybe it didn't occur to me to make him one. He'll be like, can I have some salad? And I'm like, oh yeah, he likes salad. Last weekend, Bubba and I had just gotten ourselves, like, we ordered some Chinese food and it had broccoli, and he's like, can I have some of the broccoli? Biddy's like that too. Belle is the ultimate, like, if you ask her what her favorite food is, she'll probably say salad. It's crazy. So I guess everybody can get behind a salad. Things you've learned from being a mom, specifically to a little boy. It's different. It's different. There are things that it occurs to him to do that I'm like, I've never seen that done before. He seems to have this need to investigate that is deeper than anyone else. Like, you know, gets into a room and there's a random thing there and he's got to like look under it or maybe dump it out. Baskets constantly need to be dumped. Loves the idea of fixing things. Loves the idea of anything related to lawn work, lawn equipment. He's just funny. Like, everybody tells me like, oh, boys, you know, more rambunctious, more wild. And yes, like, can confirm. I see that difference from the girls. But also, I didn't expect him to be this little bitty empath. Looking back to when he was a baby, like maybe getting to the end of his nursing days, if I was upset about something, he became upset. He reads emotions of anybody, even in subtle ways. He'll be like, you okay? Are you okay? The other day we were at the dentist's office and he heard a kid crying. He and I were in the waiting room and Belle was getting treated in there. And he heard the cries and he just froze. He just froze and started looking around. He's like, is that Nookie? That's Belle's nickname. And I said, no, I don't think that's her. And he would not go back to playing while he heard this crying, and he went up to the like kind of open area where there were like a couple receptionists or something, and he yells, it's okay. And everybody was like, oh, that's how he is. He is going to notice how people are feeling around him. And I think that's really cool. And I think it's like you see this kid and you're thinking kind of rough and tumble, kind of loud, has no volume control at times, it feels like. We even drive past like a Home Depot. He goes, love you, Home Depot. He's such a sweetheart and he's so in tune with emotions. So I guess some of the traditional things about having a boy have proven true, and then there's been some things about him that have just surprised the heck out of me. Have you had Botox? I have not. I don't know, I got some, I can see like up close like little lines in my forehead. I think that's normal. I am 40 years old, but I feel like I've taken really good care of my skin and I'm really happy with my skin, and I'm a little bit scared of putting something in it that might like, I don't know, mess things up. I'm a Capricorn, I'm a little skeptical. How do you keep finding inspiration for videos after so many years? Hi from Honduras. Hello in Honduras. Thank you for watching. I keep finding inspiration because number one, I love what I do. So when you find a thing, when you tap into a topic, a thing, a hobby that you absolutely love, I feel like the raindrops of inspiration just don't stop falling. It's like makeup and beauty is just always the thing that's sitting back here in the brain while I'm prioritizing and I'm doing this and that and the other. Well, I could always possibly have a thought about makeup floating around in there. So I love that. You don't do this. You don't get up early and do videos since 2008 if you don't absolutely love it, I feel like, for this amount of time, you know. So I love what I do, so I feel like the inspiration is there. But also, you guys are awesome about offering me up video ideas and things that, you know, oh, I didn't think anybody'd want to see that, or I didn't know about that. And you offer just some great direction to my channel in that way. So thank you for being part of it. The content you see is definitely like driven by me, but then driven by those random messages and comments from you guys that give me just so much more to talk about and think about. This channel is the product of all of us, so thank you so much. How did you decide what activities to get your children into? Okay, so Belle and Eve, they are in a once a week dance class and a once a week cheer practice. Bubba will probably in the next year, he'll have the opportunity to maybe get involved in some things that he wants to do, but I know soccer and maybe t-ball, softball is available to their age. They did not express any interest in doing that. Maybe they will eventually. Maybe they'll do a little camp or something like that that kind of exposes them to it. Maybe they'll decide they like it, but I would say in both of the things that they're part of, I got them involved on a very low level at first and let them decide if that was something they wanted to continue. So like for dance, their first dance class, Belle went to like a little dance camp at the local community college. And the lady who taught that had given out cards saying, I offer dance classes in my home. And so we're like, okay, that might be good for them to just kind of take a few classes and see if they like it. Both of them did, and they really liked it. And she had to stop because she was gonna have a baby, and she decided she wouldn't be doing those classes anymore. And we were able to get, I think at that time, on a wait list for a place around here that high image dance we love. But you see what I mean? They did something that was really low commitment. It was just like classes. Do you want to do this on Wednesdays for an hour? Yeah, sure. It was just a real easy thing. And when Miss Kara had to stop, it was like, oh, they really wanted to keep doing it. Okay, so we'll make sure you can keep doing that. And then with cheer, you guys know I personally, I'm cheer obsessed. I love it for everybody. I don't need everybody else. I feel the same way about makeup. I don't need everyone else in my life to be obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with it enough. But I remember when the opportunity came about, they were doing like a 6-week tryout cheerleading kind of thing, show team, I think they called it. And you could go there and you do like 6 little 1-hour practices or 45-minute practices, something like that. $100 so there'd be a little performance at the end. And I thought that's a really good deal. And they could just see if it's something they like. And if they like it, they can go for it. I wasn't immediately like, okay, I know I like cheer. I'm signing you up to be on an all-star team. Sorry for all the nose wiping, but that was not the way that went. They did that. They liked that. They started up a rec cheer program, which was a little lower time commitment compared to the all-star teams that they have. That started up shortly after the show cheer thing. And they said, yeah, they wanted to do that. So they're both on what are called rec teams. It's a shorter time commitment per week for them. I know the all-star teams practice more and longer, and maybe one or both of them will want to go that direction at some point in time. But I feel like right now, I want them to be able to be kids and do kid things, have the time to go to the library, have the time to go to the playground, have the time to just come home and play with their toys, Hey, Betty. Yeah, I'll get you up. It'll be in just a little bit, okay? I think your reading alarm just went off. I just feel like at their young ages, you don't need an activity dominating your existence, Do something that gives you a chance to learn and grow and be a teammate and whatnot. But yeah, that's how we decided. And I think anytime you have a chance to like do a camp, like a day camp sort of thing for your kid, or any sort of like low commitment short-term program that applies to the thing that you think they might be interested in, go for that, because then they have enough knowledge to know if it's something they want to continue to do. And my kids, they may decide to get into other things or different things as time goes on, and I hope they do. Where did you go to journalism school? I love your channel. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I went to Monmouth College, which is a small liberal arts college in West Central Illinois, and my degree at that time, I don't know if they call it the same thing now, but the major was called Communication and Theater Arts. And I was also close to having a minor in sociology, just kind of unintentionally. I took a lot of sociology classes, but my concentrations within that major, like you could choose media, communication, just general, and theater. And my 2 concentrations were media and communication. I really enjoyed being in a smaller school environment for this major because I was able to get a lot of individual feedback and teaching and coaching on public speaking. Like, think about getting in front of the class and giving speeches. My classes were like 20-some kids. And there was always a time where the teacher would meet with you and talk with you about how you were doing things. And then you could become like a speech tutor for other kids too. But it felt very much like I was being individually worked with, and not just in the general communication classes, but really good professors too with anything media related. I had my chance to use a camera, was encouraged. Like, they kind of knew the limit that they had as well. Like, we had a campus TV station and it was MCTV and it was great and I got to do that, but they knew that an internship in a real newsroom would be essential for the things I wanted to do, and I was having a hard time like getting a place to take me, that was within driving distance. I remember my advisor, Trudy Peterson, she's like, that kind of experience is going to be so important for you, and like building the resume tape out of that, getting a first job and stuff. And I ended up getting in somewhere, and it was just like the advice, the guidance, the direction, everything that was able to be provided to me there. I'm not saying a big school would stink for communication, but I'm just saying my small school environment, I really see the advantage. And we just had awesome professors. Bub had a lot of communication classes there too. I think he might have minored in communication. He majored in political science. There wasn't like a pre-law major there. That was generally what you'd be in if you wanted to go to law school after. And we still to this day talk about how great the professors were and just what an incredible experience we had there. Do you dye your hair? No, I do not. This is all just my natural hair color. For a time, I feel like maybe more toward the start of my channel, I remember Mom and I thought maybe it would be a good idea for me to do some semi-permanent hair color, think like Clairol Natural Instincts, to give my hair more thickness and more texture. And it does do that, but I mean, ultimately we were just kind of like matching my hair color. It wasn't for real coloring purposes. It was for giving my hair a little more thickness. But now I just go with what it is. I do find a few rogue white hairs here and there, but but knock on wood, that hasn't really taken me over yet. Favorite cheat meal? Anything that involves like a fried appetizer. You know, I love an onion ring. Give me a corn nugget. Give me just fries, some kind of appetizer sampler. I will join in the party for that, yes. Oh, this is Kendra Matthews. She's the one who created the latest Sydney Grace palette. How do you balance your YouTube and your life? I think it goes back to the whole waking up early thing and knowing that I've got a devoted like segment of time in my day that will be YouTube. And then like nap time as well is another editing time for me, work time. It is hard because there are times when I'd like to spend more time like going through comments, replying to more comments, but I just have to be realistic with myself and know there's only so much time in every day. I've gotten better about giving myself grace for things I maybe can't get done. I'm the type of person that just, if I get into a routine, I can fairly easily stick with it. So I think just my inner tendency allows me to like keep my channel going and, you know, have that over here, have home life over here, and have kind of distinctive times in my day for each. As you're another year older, happy belated birthday. Thank you so much. I am 40 now. What changes, if any, have you seen in yourself? I wouldn't say they've been immediate, like, oh, I turned 40 and then I became this way types of changes, but maybe gradual changes. Sorry, I just had to blow my nose. Quicker to pray about things, slower to worry and stew about things. More confidence that things are all working out. Things are always working out. Having an awareness, and I think Bubba's my little teacher on this, that my mood, my way of feeling can easily be contagious and rub off on another person. So like if I am feeling worried, if I am feeling upset, if I am feeling whatever, I'm not saying like I feel pressure to bottle up my emotions at all times, but just having this understanding of how like good moods, good vibes from, I think, particularly the mom in the house can really like blanket everyone else and either bring everybody else up or other kinds of moods could bring everybody else down. I feel like probably over the last 10 years, I think something about becoming a mom did this to me, but caring a lot less about what anybody else thinks. I know I'm not sitting around here judging everybody else. I just don't feel like I have a judgy mind with anything outside of makeup products really, or cheer routines, or the way I like certain foods sometimes. I don't know, but as far as human beings go, I do not feel judgmental, and I'm just not in an era of caring what people are judging or saying about me at all. I think when I was in my news time, that was my era of caring what everyone thought of me. Here I am. This is my first job out of college. I want the viewers to like me. I want to be liked. I'm doing YouTube now. I want to be liked, whatever. Now it's like I am who I am. I'm confident in who I am. I'm gonna love you. You can either give that back or you cannot, and that's okay. Like I will still go about my day and be happy. Another thing too, I'm not seeing people left and right on social media and thinking I have to be like that. I'm able to see a person think, oh, that's great. I love that. They look great like that. But yet I don't have to go have that, do that, be that. You know what I mean? I realize that, you know, my uniform of the day can be a thermal and some leggings more often than not. And I'm comfortable to be able to hop on the floor and engage with my 4-year-old at any given time. I might not have the perfect looking lower stomach, but who cares? Any kind of body insecurities. I'm appreciative of my body and how far it's come. I have hip dysplasia and look what I'm still able to do. An overall attitude of gratitude. The more you can walk around feeling grateful for things, the less you're comparing to others, the less you're absorbing, oh, I need, and just the happier you will be inside. I'm trying to be less bothered this year. How do you keep such a positive attitude? I think that falls right into the last thing, gratitude. When you see every day as a gift, when you note the blessings around, you guys can go down if you want to now. Can you go down and go to the bathroom? And turn your lights off. And they don't have to be the big things. I'm grateful for the warm cup of coffee. I'm grateful for the lip gloss I can put on that doesn't irritate my lips right now while they're really like chapped and dry. I'm grateful that my phone will literally tell me whenever it starts to rain or snow, and I'm like, ooh, yay. I'm grateful when I can look into the sky and see sun and clouds. Like, how crazy is it that these clouds just kind of, they just float across the sky and they can look like different things sometimes. Like, I don't know. View the world in awe and you will not be bothered. And that's where I'm gonna have to end it because my kids are starting to get up for the day. Your questions are so good and so insightful and kind as well. And there's more that I would like to get to. What do you think about even a mini Q&A session like in shorts, like a YouTube short or a reel or a TikTok, like just grabbing a cluster of them and doing them real quick? I'm not sure I'm capable of answering anything quickly though, so that might be a problem. But thank you all for your time today. Thank you for just dealing with the raw, like, situation we have here. We're crying and nose wiping, and I'm sorry about all that, but I know that I'm among friends, and I'm sending all my love and my care to you. I know I'm not the only one dealing with a cold out there, or eczema, or dry skin, whatever it may be. I love you. I'm thankful for you, and I will see you all again very soon. Thanks for being here. Bye.